Today I will be showing you how to make a mini king cake. We're doing it step by step. I start out with some Sculpey Premo Polymer clay. I think I rolled this out to a 0 and then doubled it up. I used the clay cutter just for measurement. It's if you're making multiple, then you can get them all the same consistent size. If you're not making multiple, just, rip a piece off that's the right size for you. Now I've got all these balls, they're flat in the right shape. I'm going to use a little round cutter to cut out the center. Before I do that, I'm going to remove any dust or hairs that have shown up on the clay. As you know, or maybe you're just learning, when you use a light colored clay, it attracts every little dust and particle in the world. I'm going to go in with an X-Acto blade and just lightly scrape it all off. Then I'm going to punch a little hole out of the center. Then I have to make it round and nice and not have straight edges. This round ball tool works well for that. As I work, you might wonder where I get a lot of my tools. Some of my favorite tools I found at thrift shops, or they have a purpose for something else. Leatherworking tools, dental tools. Check out the weird section at Harbor Freight. Well, this one's a dental tool, I'm pretty sure. Here I'm marking 8 equal sections. I'm just going around and putting a little mark. Once I have all 8 sections marked out, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a diagonal at that point. It's a little easier to look at what I'm doing than to explain what I'm doing. It's going to end up looking kind of like a braided roll. So I'm going to keep on going around and around in a circle, making it diagonal, making sure the diagonal goes from the center all the way to the end. And that's where you kind of go over it again and go over it again. I'm going to speed it up just a touch so we can get through that. I'm also going to be bringing this line down into the center as well. So you want to make it look like it's going all the way around. And then I flip it over and extend the line. Since we're not really going to be looking at the bottom, I don't get too meticulous about this part. It's more so that it looks good from above. And now we're going to do a little fast forward again. Zip, zap, zoop. I'm sorry, I don't need to make the noises. Next, we're going in with another tool and we're going to kind of just round them out because they look a little bit too sharp. You'll see what I mean. This is the part I hate the most. I'm just going back and forth every little edge and rounding it and making it smooth. Can I fast forward again? We're going to do a little fast forward. I'm not going to speed it up too fast just yet because I think you do want to actually see how I'm rounding out these edges. Or you can, of course, just skip ahead yourself. Isn't it so nice that we can do that? I get a lot of questions as well about where I get all of the work surfaces that I have, the tiles and such. I got them from a junk shop. These little pink ones, at least, I got from a junk shop, and I went back to get more, and they didn't have any more, and that was very sad for me. I also asked my dad for tiles, and that's where I get the big tiles that I work on. Ask your friends and family if they have any spare tiles that they just are not going to ever use. Once your friends and family find out that you like weird junk, though, they won't stop giving it to you. Might be good, might be bad. Next, I'm going to cut out a section because I want it to be a cut king cake. It was a little blurry, but you know what happened. I got this tool. It's good at making bread textures, but you could find something else like sandpaper. Going back in with the dental tool, I'm going to make some bigger cavities. This is going to look like there is a cinnamon filling inside. Well, like not yet, but later it's going to have a cinnamon filling. You'll see. All right, let's do super speed again because we don't have all day. All right, medium speed. I don't know. Whatever. I'm doing it to both sides because, of course, this is a cut cake and it's both sides. I'm also going to do it to the piece that I cut out, but I'm not going to show you that because I forgot. What next? Oh, let's make the babies. Every king cake, not every king cake, lots of king cakes, they have a little plastic baby inside. Or on the side. Sometimes it's a bean, but nowadays it's usually a plastic baby. We're taking the dental tool and we're gently rolling. It's like we're separating the head from the body. Not full separation though, gentle. I'm also going to use a little silicone tool to kind of round it out, make it nice. I don't know. It's taking forever, geez. Next, we must separate the legs. Get a little tool and get in there. A little cut it. And look at that. Immediately, you recognize it a little bit more as a human being. Roll out some arms, cut up some arms, put some arms on. It's a weird way to put that. You're just gonna put them on there. Doesn't really matter. This thing is gonna be so small, you don't even know. It doesn't matter. Speed it up for the second arm. We don't have the time for that. Alright, you just put it on, get a little squish. It's so small, it doesn't matter. Poke the eyes in. Try to make a face. Don't try to make a face. Just give it little eyes. It doesn't matter. What I have learned from making teeny tiny things is that sometimes you don't have to try too hard. I'm all for trying too hard, but sometimes you don't have to. Whoops, I squished it. I squished it real good. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the baby a different time. Second time, different angle, different colored baby, a little bit pinker and easier to see on this tile. But I'm going to speed it up, all right? Look at that. Oh, it's starting to look like a baby. We're going to pop those arms on. It's a weird way to phrase that. That's fine. This baby looks better, all right? And you got a nice pink little baby. It's going to pop out of your cake really well. It's going to look disturbing, actually. These babies look pretty disturbing. Don't look at the ears in the background. All right, bake those babies, and we're coming back to the cake. This cake looks completely different from the last time you saw it, you say? Completely different shape? Yeah, I know. I did use a mold. I got tired of making it by hand and I just grabbed a mold. You can do that. It's not cheating. It's fine. You can do it. I have shaved chalk pastel. I mixed together a couple of colors that I liked to make this color. It makes a very good color to put on the cake. Don't brush it on the part that's cut, because that part is the lighter color, because the inside, like, the inside of bread is a different color than the outside. Let's speed this up. You do put it on the bottom, though. Get that bottom. That was a weird way to phrase that. I don't. Yeah, no. Now we're gonna make the cinnamon inside bit. You mix together a color that looks right with the chalk pastel. This little glass dish. It's just a good place to mix it up. I add just the tiniest amount of this polymer clay softening liquid. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. It worked though. It's so clear you can't even see it there. Then I'm actually going in with the baking the glue stuff. Watch this. Poof. I poofed it all away. You fool. So yeah, don't do that. Mix it up. Mix it up to get your cinnamon filling. And super speed. I'm not that good at mixing. We're doing super speed. God, am I obnoxious or am I a genius? It's both. Then you're going to take the cinnamon filling and you're going to fill it with the cinnamon filling. Just stick it on in those holes you made. No. All right, we're going to speed it on up. Get to the next part. You're going to take those babies that you baked and shove it on in there if you want. You don't have to. This is optional. It looks weird. Now bake it as recommended per your packaging. Now we've got the baked cakes and I'm adding the frosting. The frosting is a mix of liquid polymer clay, that bake and bond stuff, the polymer clay. It's also just pretty much similar to liquid polymer clay. And I put a little bit of white clay in there and also some white shaved chalk pastel. I put it on top and then I make it look like it's dripping. So you gotta add the drips. All right, let's speed it up. Just keep adding those drips. It looks so good. You want to eat it, right? You just want to kind of have a little taste right now. I ended up making a real life baked king cake after I made these. I was so hungry for one. Now there are many options of ways to do the cinnamon sugar. I chose to use these glass balls. They look like just like really fancy big sprinkles. You could also use shaved chalk pastel, although it's a little messy, a little annoying. Another option that I have been experimenting with, and you can experiment with this too, is sprinkle on some of that stamp embossing powder. But with that, I'm saying be careful because we're using it outside of its recommended use. Don't bake it for too long. I don't know. Be careful. I'm still experimenting. Maybe I shouldn't have told you about it. Probably don't do it. Maybe do it. Probably don't do it. I don't know. Be careful. And that's it. Bake it as recommended, or be careful if you're doing the stamp thing. We're at the end. Get the hell out of here. Go be creative if you want. I don't know. I'd like to thank myself for putting this whole thing together. Bye!